favorite TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning. This is Wednesday edition, Elevate Television, Advancing Kingdom Lifestyle. I'm your host, Moses Muiruri, and I'm in studio with a great company of people. But before we do this, the link is already out. You know the drill. Let's send the link to everyone available. I'm sending it to all places. Put it in your WhatsApp groups. Put it in your in all the places that you can get somebody. We are talking about audio engineering today. I've sent it to you. I've also sent it to, I have so many friends actually waiting. Yeah, there you go. Where is that name? Send it to him. All right, please do so also as I do mine. Remember that we always say that once you have this information, it becomes a help to somebody else so that you don't miss out in information. And as we give it out, remember that we are part of a larger community. Those of you who have not liked Elevate Television on YouTube, on X, on Twitter, on Instagram, please, and Facebook, please do that so that you can get the prompts, and we shall be ready. Every time you get a prompt, it will be easier for us to get back to you. Did you guys get did you get the link?
Not yet.
Have you got the link?
No.
There it is.
Yeah.
Josephine, you have the link. I know you do. I've sent it to you. There you go. Harncell, you have it. There you go. Yeah, you have it there. And also, I also put it up for you at all the places you can pick it up. And we are talking about the revolution in the audio engineering sector. And great guys doing sound in our nation, great ladies doing sound in our nation, handling audio projects, big projects. And so I have two of them in the house. So we give it to the lady.
Yes.
Just look at our camera. Introduce yourself. What you do.
Hello, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Josephine Waliaula. I'm an assistant sound engineer at Snowball Industries, which is a studio here in Kenya.
Harncell.
Yes, sir.
Karibu Elevate.
Asante sana.
Just look at the camera, introduce yourself,
Yeah.
and we shall be up.
Hello, people. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Harncell Oyango. Above all else, I'm a child of God, born again. I minister in the audio media ministry with my church back at Sitamgong. But beyond that, I also practice sound. I do sound for live events, for TV, and a bit of film and live stream.
Let me deal with that myth, Josephine. They say sound and audio guys are very quiet. Is it true?
Well, that is true.
Is it true?
Yes.
It's not a myth.
It's not a myth.
You know?
Most of them just go and do the work, and when they're ready to talk, they will talk.
They will.
After everything is done and the
After
sound is
everything is
good,
done.
then they will talk. But most of us are introverts.
And so they also say,
I think I would agree with her, but also emphasize that it depends with the context. Yeah. Yes. One thing I know audio people don't like is being asked irrelevant questions, especially when we are at work.
when you're at work.
Especially when we'll
come to that one because
Yes.
I notice sound guys are a bit, I think is an area. Today we are going to correct every other thing.
Yeah.
God help us.
Yes.
The other myth they talk about sound guys, they are moody.
Yeah.
Is it true? Josephine, are you moody?
They're just concentrating on their work. That's what they're doing. Because
No, I'm just dealing with me. I'm breaking ice. I'm breaking ice.
Yeah, I think we've bonded with machines so much till it's
People have their
people who don't have such a bond with machines. Like for me, I've bonded with so many machines. So sometimes I find it easier to hang around machines. Not that I'm moody. I find it easier to hang around mixing boards, computers, cameras. You get. So it when you develop that, you tend to develop a more quiet, because machines tend not to have emotions. So sometimes you forget a bit of the reality of the emotional world, but does not necessarily mean we are that moody.
We are not moody. Yeah?
No,
We are
we are
not.
very exciting people.
We are very excited.
Take us out. If you see me, invite me for your events. Invite me for your parties.
When you go near sound guys, somebody would say, stay out of this area.
Yeah.
But there are also those who come with their. I mean, we are human. That's what I would say. Is that so? And it's amazing. As an industry, I want to ask you. I don't know how long you've been there, but the evolution. I'm sure you've studied when you went to school and all that. You looked at how it has evolved, how sound has evolved. You know, one of the greatest quotes I had in one of my lecturers' classes is what he told me: "You may have the greatest picture, crisp, clean, but when you have bad sound, you have just messed the whole thing."
Yes.
So that makes a sound man a very critical person in the what we call the infrastructure of production. Yeah? And so the evolution. How far have you checked it out? The evolution, the changes.
I think that the evolution has been exciting. I see sound engineering and audio industry in general as a very young industry. I'm a computer scientist. I have a computer science background. And among the sciences, computer science is generally considered as a very young branch of science, because it's just relatively about 60 to 70 years since the first computers the first modern computers, let me say so, were invented. But you understand that the modern way that we do audio is not that old. Yeah, it's about 30 or 40 years so. And now when people really started doing it professionally, and so it's compared to other disciplines like medicine or law or being a physicist or being a driver, it's relatively young, meaning there's still a lot of evolution to happen.
Yeah.
Secondly, it is also dependent on the speed of how technology is evolving, because without the evolution of technology, sound engineering would not have evolved the way it has evolved. Yeah. So computers also influence, electronics influence how the speed of evolution, because right now we are in an age where sound and IT have merged and become
like one of us.
Yeah. When I was beginning, the distinction was very clear. If you are in IT, you are in IT. If you are in sound, you are in sound. But now you realize that the sound guy has to learn a bit of IT. Actually, not a bit, a lot of it.
Too much, because he has a lot to do.
Yes.
Because now it's basically a digitized piece.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a vinyl tape?
A vinyl tape?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever tried to record on one? I did.
Yet.
I did.
Not yet.
I used to record, the tapes.
the
Yeah, I used to
tapes.
record. Yes, it's magnetic tapes.
Yes.
I used to do magnetic
I
tapes.
did so as well.
I
I still have even the mini DVs.
Yes, the mini DVs
Yes,
where
I
you
do.
use. Actually, the mini DVs was where you store the original.
Yes.
So the tapes,
Yes.
it's real.
Yes.
Yes,
So,
yes, it's true.
You're editing, and of course, as you're editing sound, you have these guys who keep on.
Yes.
And pulling air, So you have to keep cleaning that and putting in a tape.
Yeah.
You keep, blade, snip,
And you were many people. doing that. There's
Yeah,
one
yeah.
person on the tape. There's one person concentrating on something
Yeah,
else.
and that one evolved to where now,
Yes.
apart from now, many people, you became one, you're on your deck, which has headphones, so
okay,
you're,
okay,
you know,
okay.
you're able to,
Yeah.
but it was tedious.
It was.
When we were in college, that's what we used. You know, we used to use that, you know, the tape.
The tape,
And it
right.
was magnetic tape, so,
Yeah.
and it would be used, reused,
reused.
reused. I mean, and you know how it used to be cleaned?
Yes. We used to have a head cleaner. I remember.
No. We used to have a magnetic field.
Yes.
Oh.
You take it in between two magnets.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just leave the tape there,
Uh-huh.
and when the tape is, of course, you know, school wants to take you very archival.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they take you into that tape. So once it goes into that magnetic field, everything is lost.
It's lost.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how now the DV came in.
Yes.
And, now, but also the DV if it went into that space,
Yeah. Yes.
Also
And it was
lost.
not just the DV cams. Actually, even the hard drives.
yes.
For the computer, we are in the age of SSDs now.
Yes.
But the hard drives,
Yeah.
if you put them in a very strong magnetic field, you come and find the whole computer has been erased.
And you know, by the way, that was an evolution. In fact, they were very happy that they are there. They are not recording, you know.
Oh.
It was
okay.
movement into
Yeah.
technology.
Yes, it
Yeah.
Then from there we came to software.
Yes.
Yes, and now we are heavily
You know,
based on
software where you would record on software, edit it on software, so the time limits become shorter.
Yes.
But then, you know, sync it,
Yes.
make sure that it's synchronizing.
Yes, yeah.
And all that. So that evolution, what does that teach you when you look at it?
What does that teach me? I think it means that we need to integrate technology into audio engineering, into our lives. That's what I would say. Because with the evolution of technology, we are able to do more. And doing more means we are able to get better and improve our skills. So I think as audio engineers, as people in general, we need to be able to integrate technology into all our fields. And that way we'll be able to move faster. And it's inspiring to see how far we have come. Very
I tell you,
inspiring.
it's very inspiring because technology has brought us from very far. And Harncell, think about the way you would go into, there was this recorders that you used to hang around when you go for location. I used to go a lot on locations.
Yes.
There were films, and so and you have these guys, one has a mic, another one, and they are dropping in, so you have to eavesdrop on them, then make sure the levels are okay. And actually they used to call it the sound recordist.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like, guys, here and he has to record that on after it came from a tape, now we went into MIDI.
Yes.
You remember the MIDI
Yes,
thing?
Yes.
And so that is what now they would go and play, so that when the production, they boost the production, When you look at those kind of things and those kind of experiences and where you are right now, what would you just put up? Because there are people who are just digitized, literally.
Yes.
They came when you just flash, mic is on,
Yes.
you are seeing it, you can even tell the
Yes.
guy,
I'm a
But hey,
perfect example.
why do some guys use that?
Yeah.
And especially if you're dealing with live sound.
Yes. Well, from what you've said, first and foremost, I think for me, it makes me appreciate where things have come from.
Yes.
Yeah. When I look back, I hear experiences like yours, because I know you are older, so you have more experience. You've experienced some technology that possibly I didn't experience. And so when I hear such stories, I'm grateful for where we are at currently. It means there's a proper foundation that we were given that enables that. There are so many shoulders that we are standing upon that as enable us to be here. But the biggest thing I would say is that it tells me that I need to have a teachable spirit. I need to have a spirit that is willing to learn and to evolve. Because if I do not evolve, I'll become obsolete so fast. So fast that, like right now, I can do mixing using my phone. Yeah. If I'm not willing to learn how to do that, I'll be obsolete. There are places you go to, you might not even see the mixing board. Unapewa ka tablet. Yeah, you're given just a tablet. You go do your thing. Yeah, we are in the age of what we call Internet of Things, where devices speak to one another. And so with that, I have to consistently keep learning. If I snooze just for a few days, I've lost it. And also, the learning spirit comes where I also need to understand that I do not know everything.
Yeah.
That's a big problem with us people in technology.
Amazing.
Sometimes we think we know it all, just because I'm able to use a device that someone else is not able to use. Now I think, I'm at the very apex, I'm at the very top of the industry. The industry is changing at a very fast rate. So if I start thinking that I know everything, that's another sign that I'm obsolete.
Wow, you said something very profound, teachableness,
Yeah.
because I realize that's a very, very key, very, very key, is very key for you and for me, because, we live in what we call an information age. You may think, I'm sure, Josephine, you've gone into meetings and you're just seated, and you see the guy is just doing blunders.
Yeah.
But you're restrained
It's
at your
true.
seat.
Yeah,
The guy is just doing blunders.
I have examples. I've gone to events. There's an event I went to, and the generator failed. Yeah, it was a very big event. The generator failed. Whoever was dealing with the generator did a mistake, and so it failed. And so, because of my experience, I've experienced such a scenario where my generator failed. Yeah, power went, and the generator went on what we call protect mode, because it was power. There was a lot of power coming from KPLC, so the generator was protecting itself. So what happened, because of that experience, I learned that when that happens, you measure on the major things. What I mean is that you ensure that the event is going on with the bare minimum.
Yes.
Now I went to the engineer to talk to the engineer, telling him, usually this is what I do when such a situation is happening. Let's do this. I was told, event got too sour. So what can you do?
Yeah. It's an attitude problem, I
Yeah.
think, and feeling that there's nobody else who knows. And we are living in an information age where literally this thing is
Yes.
going down,
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I was in a meeting one time, and when you go into a meeting, you're going into a meeting. Yeah, that's not your meeting. So you're seated, and lo and behold, a speaker began to smoke.
Yeah.
Literally. Of course, as an engineer, you quickly get alarmed.
Yes.
You get alarmed.
Yeah.
I quickly talked to the guys. The guy is not moved. And I can tell him what's the problem. Cables.
Yes.
It's a cabling
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
But the guy, so you just walk out because you don't like embarrassment. You
Yes.
walk out.
Not even embarrassment. You don't like confrontation
Confrontation.
because you don't want it to
Yeah.
look like you're trying to superintend or force your ideas on. Yeah. So sometimes you just take a back seat and say, I've tried and it didn't work.
I like your point.
Yeah.
Being teachable.
Yeah.
Training.
Training.
When talk about training, he talked something about if you think you know it, you're actually going obsolete immediately. Talk about training and constant training.
So in this day and age, we have to be constantly updated. So you have to constantly update yourself on what is happening in the audio world, what is happening in your field. So you have to follow the journals, look at the Instagram pages of all the people that work in the audio field, of all the machines and all the people who make the machines. So you have to constantly update yourself and keep up with the times.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you talk about updating, we used to have audio
Journals.
communities.
Yes.
Where you're in
Yeah.
a community of audio guys where technology is always being put in. Technology, new information. Gigs are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be in your own actually that community helped us a lot.
Yes.
I remember, it's very, people would, when a film comes, everybody wants to go, normal films would come to the city. Everybody, that one has a role, is a director, that one is they always forget the sound guy.
Yes.
He always comes last.
Yes.
Or he never comes at all.
Or even they ask you,
They don't
unaweza
even
kufanya
mention.
sound?
Yeah.
Unaweza kufanya sound?
Yeah.
Talk about the professionalism and the appreciation of
Yeah.
a sound engineer. Do you think it's being just? Ama tubebe mabango tuende kwa streets, bro.
No, I don't think we've gotten to where we need to go to the street. But first of all, let me appreciate that there has been a significant growth.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've been in the industry for close to 17 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've seen significant growth rather when it comes to appreciation of the audio guy. It used to be distinguishing between an audio guy and the DJ was a very difficult thing.
Yes.
You go to an event, where is your DJ? You are wondering, when did I become a DJ? I'm just a sound. They tell the DJ, where is your mtu wa sound? So there was that confusion. Yeah. And also, there was this, when someone is planning an event, it used to be that the sound guys or sound is remembered as a very last item when every other thing has eaten the lion's share of the budget. So they just think, if we can get just a small sound to keep, you get, and then it ends up backfiring. But over time, I've seen more and more appreciation of the industry. Organizations are employing more sound technicians. More businesses are coming up. Because before that, it used to be, if you're not employed through a church, it used to be TV station mostly. You get a TV station. Those were the two key areas where you'd get employment.
Or a music studio.
Or a music studio, which music studio they would prefer a musician more than an engineer sometimes. Yeah, but I've seen that evolving. Even the churches are treating their sound engineers much better than how it used to be. The compensation is much better. I think the community has also grown. Like today I'm here because of the community, the Audio Visual Technicians Association of Kenya. That's where I got a recommendation from our chairman, so that I can be able to come here. With that also, we've seen more institutions getting into teaching people to be professionals. Because the industry is evolving and more people are appreciating it. You realize that when you want to go to get employment somewhere, there's HR policies which shows rather dictates you must meet this certain level of qualification, and so more institutions have started offering it as a course. It shows you that it is being appreciated, because these institutions would not offer it as a course if it is not appreciated.
But then, did you know in film school, if you went to the old one, which I don't want to mention, they would teach you reporting. We were taught reporting. We were taught camera work. Sound was just a by the way.
Yes.
You know, you need to know where your mic comes in the camera, and you need, it was not something that was a science around it. Something that was some people would actually become specifically their area. But then later we began to see, and unfortunately we have to wait from Europe. Began to see people who are focused on that specific arena, and you find that they are training and the kind of equipment and everything. So you find that, and one of the areas, I remember one time, because, and then a sound engineer had to be you have to be very creative, very creative to find work. So I would get to buy sound for people. Because people don't know what they want, so they want to buy. So the worst part was where I go to buy the sound, the person selling doesn't even know what they are selling.
It's true.
So you go asking for specifics. I want this amperes, I want this wattage, I want this. He said, no, hii ni kubwa. Hii ni kubwa. Have you ever bought sound for your studio?
For our studio. I have bought sound for
Or have
myself.
you gone out here to buy sound?
Yes, I have.
And you're a lady and they're wondering, oh my.
They think I don't know what I'm saying. And I tell them, no, this one is better than that one. And then I show them the difference. They're surprised. They're like, oh, so that is what you mean. And then, that's how I get what I need. But it's quite interesting, because there's also fake fake
Too much.
things.
It's too much fake.
So you have to work around that and be able to deliver the sound that you would like to have, and deliver to the client what you would like to have. So it's quite an interesting
Harncell,
thing.
Yeah.
she's brought up fake. You've been there 17 years.
Yes.
You've seen all those things. You
Yes.
can tell.
Yeah.
Fake.
Yeah.
Do you think, because I'm sure you've been in the church, you've been in the TV station, you've been in radio, you've been on all those areas. Do you think most of these organizations want to buy original things?
For the ones I've interacted with, there's a mix. Yeah, there are those that are genuinely out for, especially the ones that are properly structured.
Yes.
Yes, because there are certain qualifications if you don't meet, or standards if you don't meet, it becomes very difficult to produce what you actually need. So there's a mix. But for the people that are not quite established, which sometimes I understand, because you want to do this, you have no money, you have very little money to do it.
Yes, yes.
So you're thinking, should I buy a speaker at 300,000, or with the 100,000 that I have, buy maybe one speaker and a microphone, or even sometimes two speakers. So you are wondering, even if I invest, because that was my struggle when I was beginning, because I've also invested in my own equipment. When I was beginning, I was like, should I just go for the cheap and quick, then grow from there, or should I just start from what is what I call industry acceptable standard? So I debated that before. Then I realized that if I go for the cheap, eventually I will spend more than I would have spent going for what the industry dictates.
Yeah.
The industry does not dictate you buy a speaker for 500K. There's just a standard that needs to be met.
Yes.
And your clients will that is one thing it brings you satisfaction. So there's a bit of a mix. Those who are trying to establish themselves, that includes even some of the churches. You go to the churches and you look at the equipment they have, you realize that these people are conned. And there's a lot of conmanship in the industry as well.
Yeah.
Someone sells you something very fake at a very high price.
Yeah.
So because they didn't know. So my remedy usually is, there are people who, when they go to buy equipment, they want to hide so that they surprise you, come and show you, bro, nilinunua hii kitu, or bro, I bought, you get, or come check out my gear. So I usually advise people, even me, with all these years of doing sound, I still consult before I buy.
We're going to talk about the challenges, because that's one of the key challenges we're seeing, where people, you see, the heart of an organization, even when they're buying, you need to be part of that buying.
Yes.
So that you advise, because your advisory is very key. Because I've seen people buy stuff and the kind of money they have spent, you just, you go home thinking. Hold that, as we go back for a break, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about challenges. And one of the key things I'm going to talk about is about the lady and audio.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
See you after the break.
Explore a world of knowledge at Elevation Bookshop. Dive into topics like marriage, money, and spiritual growth with our vast reading materials. But that's not all. We are thrilled to introduce new additions like stationeries, notebooks, modeling clay, dictionaries, pencils, kamusi, and more. And calling all students, gear up for success with our back-to-school items, providing you with everything you need to excel in every subject. At Elevation Bookshop, we're here to assist you in finding the perfect resources for your journey. Do you have specific preferences or looking for something special? Visit us at Kenya Cinema Plaza, mezzanine floor, or contact us on 0748 902 225. Elevation Bookshop. Enrich your life.
Hello, this is Bill Winston. We're coming to Kenya. To all of our partners and friends, we're coming with the International Kingdom Conference. It's going to be powerful, praise God. And we're theming this the year of kingdom manifestation. It's a powerful conference. It's going to be on April the 7th and 8th, and we are planning on having a powerful conference. God bless you. Bill Winston saying, keep walking by faith.
Welcome back. We're talking about the evolution, the revolution, and I don't think we have time to finish. We can't finish. It's quite something. We were talking about challenges, and one of the key part of the challenges you brought up is procurement of gear and equipment. We find that those involved, they procure behind the scenes, and they don't involve most of their audio engineers. And so we find that what is on the ground and what has been spent is just mind-boggling, you know. Because you see, your engineer will help you. So one of the things you can do is work with your engineer so that they can help you to purchase the right equipment. Another challenge, you are a lady in the house.
Yes.
So have you ever gone and you're on these decks and these guys say, "Tuitie engineer."
And you wonder, I'm here. And you tell them I'm here. They are not understanding. Yes. Women getting into the industry is very tough.
So do you know how many women are there? At least me, I know one.
Actually many.
Me, I know one, very good one. And actual veteran.
A veteran.
Yes, an elderly lady. She worked in KBC.
Nice.
She is good. You know those people who don't use technology. They listen. They tell you that mic is bad. They don't need to be told. You know?
Yes.
So do you have an experience, one you can mention?
So I mostly work in the studio. So I just do studio work. So I could be there setting up for a session and waiting for the clients to come in. And they come in and they ask, okay, where is the engineer? And I'm there. I've set up the microphone, I've said hi to them, and yes, it's me, I'm the one recording. And then they're very surprised.
They're uneasy.
They're uneasy. Then when I do my work and I finish, they're very surprised. Then they tell me, wow, that's very good work that you've done. So first of all, they don't recognize that you can do the work. That's usually the problem. And then even in live events, when they see a woman behind the mixer, they are very concerned. So very many of my friends who are females, who are live sound engineers, when they're doing a gig, most of the men usually come to the mixer and they tell them, oh, this is a fader, this is an EQ. So they try and they're starting to teach them when they already know the work.
They're not sure they will deliver.
Yes, they're not sure. They come and even a random person in the concert will come and say, oh, you know that mic is not working very well. And when it's a man behind the mixer, that doesn't happen. So when it's a woman, it happens more often than other times.
Now that you've brought that, I have two, but I want to ask, now that it's not working very well, then you tell him. Then you just do your hand like this and say,
Exactly.
Psychology,
Yes, so you're like...
So sometimes... You just bent down, did your hand like this. Have you ever tried that one?
No. Very many times.
For me, I try to be honest.
No, it's not being honest. You know very well. You know your systems. You know if I push this to the next limit, it's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad.
And you know...
Sometimes you just put your finger on the fader and then look at them and then then all of a sudden they speak louder.
Yeah.
So you're like, yes.
Yes,
So
we are
it's
home.
working.
We are home.
Yes, it's also psychology. So as women, we have to
Now
do that.
umetoboa siri zako. Umeshikwa.
Nimeshikwa.
Josephine, another one. Your parents.
My
You're telling me, Dad, you know, I'm going to study audio engineering, you know. And then he looks at the bill ya fees. Na hiyo sauti.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was-
Actually, just African parents, let's say. I really wanted to start audio engineering when I finished high school, but they didn't know what that was.
And they
It
don't want
was
to,
just,
they don't want to
and
risk.
they don't want to know. So I did my degree in peace, and another degree, not audio. So I did my degree, I finished, I worked for a little bit, and then I decided, no, let me just try this out, because I'm still young, I can still take the risk. So when I went to tell my dad that this is what I'm doing, he asked me, don't you have a good job? Don't you feel fulfilled? Like, what is it about this audio engineering that you like so much? And I just said, it's a passion, and it's a growing industry. And I wanted to contribute to the sound industry here in Kenya and in general in the whole world. So later on, he had to accept. So I just started on my own, and then he joined the bandwagon.
So would he come into a gig and say, just find out what this one is doing?
Yes. Now that I know all these audio things, and I talk to him about music and audio, he's very happy because he really loves it.
Amazing.
Yeah, so he's very happy now.
Answered you just walked out of home. Nimeenda.
My story with audio engineering is funny.
Yeah.
Unofficially, it's my dad who introduced me. Unofficially.
Wow,
This is how he introduced. This is why I say it's unofficially. When we were kids, my elder brother and I, my dad bought a radio system, a boombox. Yeah, I think they were called boombox back then.
Yeah.
The ones for tapes. So he sat us down and taught us how to use that. He did the same with our television. Why? Because he thought, if I don't teach them, they'll just
They'll find out.
find out and spoil it. So why not make it easier for them, and also so that they're able to enjoy it much better, knowing. So we even knew how to record ourselves on the tapes, which tapes not to record ourselves on. Najua hizo ni za daddy, utagongwa. Hizi ni zetu za kucheza nazo. But now officially, it was after high school. After high school, I was in church serving. I didn't even show interest in media. I was doing traffic ministry, kupanga magari kanisani. That's the ministry I was doing. So the technician back then, who has been one of my mentors in the industry for a while now, came and told me, I'm going on leave. I need someone to live here. You come on Saturday, I'll show you how this thing works. Then from there, I will see what to do. I'll show you for a few weekends. Then I'll go on leave. Long story short, I thought he was joking. So the first weekend I didn't go. So on Sunday he meets me. Hey, I told you to come. Why didn't you come? Then I realized this guy is serious. So the next Saturday I went. So he showed me a few things, basic things. Then the next Saturday he was there with me. Then he went on leave.
Sure.
So for a whole month, I was running the mixing board, running the services, and also managing the team. You know, you are a new guy here. You've never been part of this ministry. You've just been brought. So I kept asking myself, why couldn't he just check one of the guys who are there? Then I realized that possibly I had seen something special in me that the other people didn't have.
Because of time, eh?
Yeah.
So after that, you went for training now. You
Yes.
went to skill up yourself. Do you know that's even my story?
Yes.
Somebody needed something done. I'm this kind of guy that when something needs to be done, if there's nobody near, I'll do it.
Yes.
So there's this PA system they had bought. It was there. Nobody was running, but it is there. So I went, took up the manuals, checked through.
Yeah.
Say, this thing is easy. I actually did it in the absence, did it connected, and they came in, they found, Allah, it's working.
Yeah.
So I learned a few things. And after that, I went to school. And I got the interest from there and got into school. Let's talk about the new phenomenon, streaming, live streaming and sound. We are seeing a lot of bad sound online. Is it an equipment issue? Is it a skill issue or is it just an ignorance issue? Anyone can pick it. You Kwanzaa, you do a lot of studio work.
Streaming, I think possibly maybe software issue. Maybe what they're using is not up to par, and that's why the sound comes out very badly. Yeah. That's
Now
what
that
I
you're
would
talking about
contribute.
software, and you can also speak into it, there's too much cracked software versus original software, and people don't understand what you get when you buy original software.
Yes, there's a lot of cracked software, even cracked pirated music, pirated films. It's a whole industry in its own.
Yeah. But when I see software, especially, I've seen people.
Yes.
Do you know? Unfortunately, people are doing TV with cracked software.
Yes.
What do you mean?
What are you saying?
TV?
Yeah. People do it. People do it.
And you know the danger. Do you know the
Yeah. You know the danger. It can be locked on air.
Yes.
not even locked. There are things, and you know the challenge nowadays when you're online, especially when you go online.
Yeah.
You know they have what you call watchers online.
Yes.
They have deployed software that is able to actually police their production, their software, and they find we have fake software. We don't even know who this is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It can be locked.
That's
And
very
you're on air.
interesting. On
Yeah, that's a
air.
challenge. Talk about original software, because we need. You're an engineer. You're also an engineer and an IT guy.
Yes. I think one thing we need to understand is that if you get pirated software or software that is not original, it comes with limitations, first of all. Yes, you do not get the full utilities or benefits that you would have gotten, because I also do a bit of animation and video production, and it is the same. There are certain things you would want to do with the software that you'll just not be able to do with them. Then there is the ecosystem. That, like I had said earlier, nowadays machines talk to each other. With pirated software, that that ability is very limited. Your machines or your software may not. Let me use an example. Some of these video production software, they come with the audio software, graphics software, animation software, and also just video editing software.
And even for streaming.
Yes, and even for streaming nowadays.
compact.
So when you get the pirated one, you realize that these 4 components or these 4 software cannot speak to each other the way they're supposed to be. Then the accuracy of the output is also not to the standard that you'd want. You realize that, for example, if you are trying to edit a 4K video, if you have a pirated software, you're not able to do that. Or even just normal HD, you might do it, but it will not give you the end product that you desire.
She said it's an industry. Kuna mawizi huku chini, my
Yes.
friend.
But also just the ethical bit of it.
Yes,
Yes, we need to speak about the ethical bit of it.
Yes,
That
yes.
it is
is
robbery.
wrong.
In God's eyes, it is a
It
sin.
is robbery because
Yes,
actually there's a
yes.
lot of fake software even
Yes.
in church.
Yeah.
Too much of
They
it
are.
is there.
They are.
And it's producing God's work.
Yes. Yes. It is. Yeah.
Maybe they still don't understand the value.
So
of
we are not
buying.
condemning anyone. We're just
Yeah.
telling you the benefits of original software. Yes, you're doing it in church and you're okay. It's okay. It's working right now. But what you're doing, you're limiting yourself to the extent of what you can do, the output, and finally, ethical.
Yeah.
So that, and actually, you're denying somebody revenue.
Yes, you're denying someone revenue, and sometimes, let me just defend the churches. Sometimes the person doing the work is the one who's doing the unethical bit. The whole
The
church
church
does
is
not
okay.
even know
They don't
that
know.
this is
Yeah.
happening.
And some of them do it actually out
Yeah.
of frustration, or
Yes.
sometimes they want to do something to please the pastor and all that,
Yeah.
and the church. And so we are not fighting the church. We are
Yeah.
not here to fight the church, but we want to ask you, please find original software that you can use in your media department so that you have the best output. Streaming. We are still
Yes.
in streaming.
Yes.
What would be your advice, and what have you seen? Okay, give me your worst experience. And you give me yours, then we see what we can do. The experience in terms of what have you seen that you
Yeah.
say, oh my God,
Yeah.
what are these guys doing?
My worst experience with streaming, the audio not working, and then the video pausing for a whole 30 minutes. That's a lot of time.
That's too much. A
That's
minute
too
is
much.
too much
A
time.
minute is too much time.
30.
30, and it's a big organization. So you start wondering, who did they hire and what happened? What are they
There's a
doing?
guy online
Yeah.
anakusalimia alafu anasema sasa tumefikiwa.
Say hi to him.
Wamefikiwa sasa. Watu wa maodi wamefikiwa.
Finally tumefikiwa.
Wamefikiwa. Tutawafikia. Make sure you come back here.
Yeah.
That was my worst experience.
What's your worst?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot because I do live stream at church.
Yeah.
I do it as a business as well. So I've personally had personal failures in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you have an event going on, you are well prepared. At the very last minute, things just don't work. I've had those experiences. So for me, nowadays, if I see a bad live stream audio, especially in the audio bit, I'm not very quick to judge.
Yes.
Yeah, because
You don't know what they are going through.
it's my area.
Yeah.
So over time, I learned how to manage that. First of all, earlier you had asked whether it's a skill issue or it's an equipment issue. This is my belief, that these two must be at par. The skill has to be at the top level, and the equipment. As a matter of fact, sometimes I prefer the equipment being above your skill, so that you have a
You
proper
can
headroom
match
for
up.
growth.
Yes,
Yeah, don't just buy equipment that is at the level of your skill. When you're investing in equipment, get something that you can grow with, because like you're saying, during COVID, things just changed, and you because you had equipment you had grown with, it was easier for you to transition.
Yeah.
So those two must go hand in hand. Learning is very important, and equipment is very important. For what we came to realize is that the mix that you hear at the venue, when it goes online, it is something totally different.
Yes.
So that one we learned the hard way. There was no one to teach us that. So what we did, we invested in software and hardware.
Yeah.
Why? Specifically for live stream. So the video goes, but we do a separate mix for live stream. Then we merge them together. It's a whole ecosystem. That's why I'm telling you, even the software has to be the one that is original, so that you don't end up limiting yourself to that extent. Even the hardware has to be something that has proper specifications, so that as you do the work, you are getting the proper output. We realized that when we were starting, because our computer was not very strong, we would get audio that was out of sync with the video. We would hear pops and clicks in the audio during live stream. Sometimes unapata the low ends just disappear. You want things to end up. Oh, it's the computer just shutting certain things so that it can give you the bare minimum. Otherwise, it will explode.
What I'm hearing from you, Harncell,
Yes.
is that if you want quality, investment is inevitable.
No shortcut.
There's no shortcut. And there's something you put up that, because I've seen this with live, one of my challenges with live sound, and we can take for the least where most of the live sound is happening, basically would be the church, right? Where people have cameras, they're coming in, they're feeding them into their video mixer and quickly just letting them out through the streamer, you know. But I like what you have said. You have a purely different ecosystem for that, where it is coming, it is being refined, then it is now being sent from a separate position.
Yeah.
What have you found as a benefit for that?
The benefit for that, now let me be clear. There's a place for just taking the audio straight to the camera. There's a place for that.
Yeah.
It's not always that you have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Maybe
understand.
you just have one mic.
Yes.
You don't need to invest in the whole ecosystem for that. But when now it has become a live, let me say a musical event, a worship session, if you want quality, if you want consistency, if you want good output, and now in this current time and age, good following, because I know people who just go to a live stream because the audio is good. Yeah, and they avoid their own. Why? Because their own, as much as their production is good, the live stream is always not very good. So you quality, you get the very best quality.
You're focused on the online
Yes,
presence.
you just know that this is what, especially when I'm serving in church, I treat the online church the same way I treat the people in
Please repeat that one for those guys. Repeat that one.
the same way I treat the people that are in person. Why? Because they are not lesser audience. Yeah, we think that because they are 10 or 15, now they are lesser audience. No, this is your church. They are your people. They are your flock. Me as the engineer, I see myself as a pastor preaching to that online church.
Wow.
Do you want to give them something that is poor quality?
No.
Will they come back? If a sheep knows that if I go there, I only get water, but if I go there, I get water and salt, where will the sheep go to? They will go to where they get water and salt. Why? Because there's that extra nutrition that they are looking for.
So basically you're saying quality versus convenience.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I see the sound system as the engine of the church. If the church or the organization,
Or even
it's not
the
only
gig.
church, even the gig,
Yes.
is a vehicle, then the
Engine
is the sound system.
Yeah.
So will you drive a car that has a bad engine? How many of us would do that? Hata kama utaiendesha, there's a speed limit you cannot go past, because you know this vehicle can fail at any. I've driven a car that didn't have proper brakes. Yes, I know. Possibly most men do it. Unajua tu gari haina brakes poa. So imagine if your engine is not right. Will you be, even if you're driving the car, you know that this car is not at a position or it will not give me what I want. So you might even be risk to not really sell it to people, because you know, when your congregation goes out there, they'll tell people, kanisa yetu inakuwa poa lakini sound live stream yetu ule pastor, and they'll tell you pastor alipreach vizuri, but let me warn you mapema, the audio is not very good. So enda tu hapo ukijua audio sio poa. You see, now that's not a very good report on.
It's not a good report.
Yeah.
We have a new friend in town. AI.
AI. Yes.
Have you taken him for lunch?
Yes, I have. We have to integrate AI, otherwise we'll just get left behind, like Harncell had mentioned initially. You'll just be obsolete if you're not able to use it. AI is revolutionizing how we mix and how we master, and all the plugins we use.
Wow, amazing.
So we have to integrate it first of all. So you have to learn what it's doing.
You know, if you watch AI mixing, you wonder, this guy is going to be obsolete. But you know, it cannot replace. One of the key things I always say, AI is not here to replace. It's supposed to skill you more, and help you do what you do faster, better, set up. Because I was a friend of mine from BBC. I was around. Technology is, you know, I saw technology, I asked myself, Kenya. But then Kenya is also a hub of technology.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy would set up a whole stadium, then go sit at a corner with his phone, the app.
Yes, yeah.
I'm telling you, he would manage the entire system. You know? Right from the mixing, everything.
Exactly.
The guy is in charge.
Yes.
Literally, he's in charge. He can shut you down.
Yes, he can turn off your mic when he wants to.
Literally.
Like,
You know?
when we do some live events at where I work, we usually use a tablet. So there's an app for the mixer that you have. So you use a tablet and you just walk around. They're looking at the mixer. There's no one at the mixer. They're wondering, who's mixing? You're just walking around with and you're doing a lot.
Yeah, because you see, you are monitoring the levels, the audio levels. Because, you know, people don't understand. You know, and we did this early in the morning.
Yeah.
The loud sound versus quality sound.
Yes.
Because many people don't understand that loud sound is actually detrimental
Yes.
That's true.
to the ears, to children, and even to the elderly.
Yes.
If you keep listening to loud sound, that's why you say,
Over time,
you talk to your children, "Ah!"
Yeah.
It's because something is happening, you're being deafened.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now, and what happens? Have you ever talked to your pastor about it?
Yeah. In terms of loud sound or AI?
It's loud sound versus quality sound. Because
Yes, yes.
people, I think we need to do civic education.
Yes.
Kama ya
Yes.
kitambulisho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are people who sit and believe your sound is mzuri because
Yeah.
it's not
Loud.
loud.
Yeah. I think for me, different levels of loudness depends on the audience. Yeah, the younger audience, if it's not loud, sometimes they would not enjoy it. But there's a limit. Yeah, of course you also need to protect your gear, and also you as the engineer, you also need to, because your ears are like your
Equipment.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's what you need to
Yeah.
be able to do your work. So you also need to protect yourself. So it is up to you to understand that there's a certain level. If it goes beyond, it now becomes, to me now I categorize it under noise. So it is important for you to ensure that it is not too loud. Also remember that you're not always mixing for yourself. Yes, that's something we forget as engineers. You're not mixing for you. It's like, of course, it's like a cook. When you cook, of course, you want to eat the food. But before you think of that, remember you are cooking for others so that they can also enjoy. So you need to ensure that you do your very best that they are also enjoying. Of course, from my experience, you cannot please the whole audience. There's just one person who will tell you, hey, leo iko chini. Then you go to another part of the auditorium, the other person tell you, hey, today iko juu sana, punguza kidogo. So you are caught in between at times. But always remember, there's like a sweet spot where you can please as many people as possible and give out the best quality. This comes with skill and exposure and knowing what you are able to do and preparation. That's another thing we forget. We think I can show up on a Sunday morning or a Saturday night for an event and do a good job without preparing. You need to ensure you prepare before.
There's a lot of preparation for an audio engineer because
Yes.
after every event, he has to go through every system,
Yeah.
every cable, every mic, find out what is not working, repair or even take for repair. Then prepare for the next one.
Yes.
You're always like a surgeon, you know? You're checking your equipment. Do people appreciate that kind of intensity?
That kind of dedication.
Yeah.
They do appreciate it, but they don't know that they do.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you one thing about us audio engineers and how we are perceived. So when the sound is good, only people who know about audio engineers will come and tell you that sound was very good.
Pat you on the
They
back.
pat you on the back. But when the sound is bad, that's when everybody
You see the
notices.
stairs. You know, people are moving. looking at you at the side.
Exactly. When the sound is good, you can even find you've gone for a gig. The sound was amazing, and
Yeah.
you finished and you packed. No one has patted you on the back except for the technical people around you.
No wonder the community is very close knit.
Yes,
No wonder
so we
they
have to
know.
encourage each other because
They know, but we work.
Yeah, we really do.
And we don't have much time. And in fact, I'm thinking about, and right now I'm just thinking, the next episode I'm going to have it in your studio when you're mixing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Okay.
going to, in your
Welcome.
event. And we're going to have something. I want you to talk about, we are wrapping up. I want you to look at our camera. I want you to give me a parting shot. Can we start with the lady? I want you to speak to all ye people. You know,
All
this
ye
is
people.
your opportunity. All ye. Look at the camera.
Okay. So for any lady, any girl out there, or any aspiring audio engineer, just know you can do it. Take the step, and you'll find that it's very fulfilling for you. I took the step, and here I am. So I'm a testimony to you. So yeah, just take it up and do it. And we need more people, more women, more men in the whole field, we need a lot more people. We need broadcast engineers, recording engineers, mixing engineers, specific streaming engineers. We need all of that just to elevate our audio space. So take it up and join us and find a way to get into it. If it's church,
she's playing safe.
if it's, why am I playing safe? What do you mean?
Yeah, I said, oh, you mamas, let's go.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
Harncell.
I'm encouraged by that. I usually try to encourage ladies to do sound.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I do. I was so encouraged when I saw her.
I was actually, I wanted her here.
Yes. Now just to speak to my fellow engineers and people that are consumers of audio, the Bible says that where there is unity, God commands a blessing. It exposes on so many elements of that blessing, of how when brethren dwell together, when there's unity, there's a blessing that comes with it. I see a lot of fights between the performers and the engineers, and that usually shows during the event or during the performance. The engineer is angry, the performer is also angry. So if there is a way that we can work together and ensure, because our goal is to ensure that our consumers get the best product, get the top quality. We ensure that unity is enhanced. You do not lose anything by listening to that other person, by listening to a performer telling you this mic sounds a bit boomy, the stage sounds a bit too loud, the stage sounds a bit too quiet. So you do not lose anything, or even the performer, you do not lose anything when your engineer is telling you use the mic properly. There has to be that cohesion between us so that the product is at its best.
I'll have to cut you short,
Yeah.
but I thank you for coming. Thank you for just taking quick response. I'm so grateful, Harncell, Josephine. Now mtakuwa mbogi yangu.
Yeah.
You will become one big mbogi, and then you shall be doing more, isn't it?
Yes.
So I'll be calling you, call your friends, and we shall be able to bring out this language. This language needs to be heard, so we can build our consistency. Go say hi to my friends. The other one, Patrick.
Yes.
See you. Thank you for just tuning in on Elevate. We couldn't read all those, online views, but remember this: we appreciate you for watching. We appreciate you for being part of it. Please, this broadcast is online. You can keep interacting with it, and God bless you. Keep it Elevate. Remember, this is where we do changing lifestyles. God bless you.